seeing those things play out. You are called to excel in all spheres of life, including the digital space. So as Christians, you are not just a one-sided person. You are called to excel in every sphere of life. So, and that also includes the digital space. The global tech space isn't just for secular success, okay? And it is a mission field where Christians can make meaningful driven impacts. So, because sometimes, maybe for some of us, you might be reluctant to get involved with what is happening in the digital space because you just feel like, oh, this is for worldly people. It's not something I should be doing. I should probably just go to my corner and be praying and forget about everything that is happening online. But if we want to change the narrative, it all boils down to our involvement in what is happening in the digital space. Because just like we talk about politics, a lot of us Christians, we try to shy away from it and feel like, oh, it's not our business. But then when things begin to go wrong, it becomes our business. So we don't have to wait for that time. You know, these days, a lot of us, we complain, especially parents, we are scared when our children go online because we know the things that are online. We know the things that they are likely to see. And now, if you don't want those type of content to continue to circulate, and that means we as individuals, we also have a role to play to be able to create content, the kind of content that we want to see. And that is why every one of us needs to be involved. Now, why must you acquire digital skills? Use digital platforms to share the gospel and to uplift others. So just like I talk about creating good content, Christian content, things that we want to see online, whatever you are proposing, let it be good. So in that way, you are also sharing the gospel. So not only until you carry your Bible and then you go to somebody's door, that's not the only way you can communicate the gospel to people these days. So there are many ways you can do that. And we can even do it much more easily than before, where you have to be physically present in every place. You can just do a YouTube video, for instance, and then people start sharing it. Thousands of people get to see it. But if you are just preaching for only the people in Eket or less in the streets, how many people can you reach? Or you can reach a wider audience online. Now, many jobs now require digital skills. So there's hardly any job you want to do today that you don't need a digital skill. It becomes very important. Whether you are a receptionist or whether you are just an admin or whatever you are, you need that skill. So it's not really a factor of, it's not what I studied in school, so it's not compulsory, I shouldn't be doing that. And these days, I think maybe last week or so, I went to the bank and I was like, I probably should be working in the bank right now because that was what I studied in school. But I'm not doing that. So the things we do today doesn't really concern a lot of us today, doesn't really and shouldn't concern what you studied in school. Because of course, there are still some people that are working in multinational companies that they don't even go to school at all. So how did they do that? Now, for you to be globally relevant, this skill is also very important. I mean, this small Eket, I call Eket a very small place because, I went to Phone Village because we don't have a computer village here in Eket. So I went to Phone Village to get a screen guard or charger for phone and all. And I couldn't get it. I was really angry. There are times I want to maybe buy a laptop or stuff like that. But based on the kind of laptop I use, I don't get to see it in the market. So even getting to Yosef, most time I don't even see it. I have to go to Lagos or call somebody that I know yet to help me get it. So this environment is still a very small environment. But even so, a lot of things can happen within this space based on your involvement in the digital space. I've had a lot of opportunities from right here. Nobody even knows whether I'm staying here. If I don't tell you I'm in Eket, you probably think I'm in one big city. But I'm here, I've accessed a lot of opportunities because of what I can offer within the global space, not just in the local environment. Because I say it a lot of times, if I'm just looking at my local environment, I won't be able to survive. Because we all know how it is here in Eket. First of all, we all know how it is to do business in Eket. Talk more of say, let me not continue on that. Anyway, so now we talk about creative economy. I'd like to talk more on this because now we are in a period where, just like I mentioned earlier, where we shouldn't be focusing on just using or just consuming. So we are in a period, we are in the era of what we call the creative economy. Can somebody say that? Creative economy. So now, when we are talking about the creative economy, we are talking about an economy where everyone is a creator. So to be a creator, you don't need a very serious skill to be able to do that. It's something that you can learn. Just like I said, personally, I'm a self-taught person. Oh, I didn't really introduce myself very well. So I am Glory. Let me go back to the introduction. I'm very bad at introductions. So I'm Glory Justin. And I like to describe myself as a blockchain engineer and the co-founder of Africa Innovate. So where we do training, co-working space and all of that. So, and in Eckhart, I probably just call myself a coder. So I can just tell you that I code for a living. Okay? So because sometimes when I talk to people around there, if I mention programming, sometimes they still don't understand. They still want you to start breaking it down. And then until you call coding, before they understand what you're saying. So for the benefit of those that might not understand what I mean by being a programmer, I code for a living, and I hope you understand what coding is. So, yeah. So that's what I do. Okay, so going back to the creative economy. Now, even as a coder that I am, I don't do one thing and you continue to do it and you don't change. I know one of our problems is fear. Most of us, we are scared. We just feel like, oh, some people are just scared of technology itself, like how to interact with it. Or sometimes I could even say probably we are just too lazy about it. So we are technology lazy. So I think we can change from that. Now, talking about success stories, like I've said concerning myself, in previous session I had here, I gave you a full story of my journey. So I won't be going through all of that right now. So, but just to cut the long story short, that is standing here, an evidence, and I am a success story itself of how tech has built, of how tech has changed my life, and how tech can change anybody that wants to be part of it, or that wants to be part of what is happening in the space. So only this year alone, I've had up to 3 international travels opportunities, fully sponsored. And none of these I paid for. Thank you. So, now one of these events that I attended in Kenya, I think around May, I had the opportunity of being in the same room with the founder of Ethereum itself. For those of us that have some knowledge of blockchain, we know what the founder of Ethereum is, right? So, I was there with him in the same room at that gathering. And so, this is what having this global relevance and interactions, and these are the kind of opportunities that it can open up for you. I still have another one I'm going to attend before the end of this year. And I will be speaking in the midst of other white people, big guys in the tech space. So, thank you. So now, that is how you can be relevant. So now, none of these people, I will travel there, none of them will know that I'm coming from one small echet. So I'm in this echet, but I'm doing a lot of things with people outside of echet. So and that's why sometimes I don't really bother myself much that I'm still in this place. Okay, so there are many things and there are many opportunities you can get by being involved in the digital space. So now I did some statistics like to check out where we are as a country in terms of technology. Are we dominating in any way? So let's find that. Okay, yeah, that's it. So now, if you can't really see, it's kind of tiny. So most technological advanced countries, after going through the list, I discovered that Africa is not even in this list. Talking of Nigeria. Yeah, Africa is not here. These are the most technological advanced countries. Although we have a lot of young people these days in Nigeria that have a lot of energy. You know, Nigeria, we are very competitive. So we have a lot of people in this, like in the digital space. In fact, as a matter of fact, the ones that I've like worked with or the opportunity to see, I see a lot of competition between Nigerians and Indians in the tech space. A lot of competitions. Like if there's any opportunity right now, the total number of people that apply for that opportunity, you will see maybe India will just be a little higher than Nigeria. So they are competing heavily when it comes to that. But we still have a long way to go as a country. Now, talking about the geography of the digital economy, which one is highly concentrated? So we have like 90% of it, which is distributed between US and China. When we are talking about digital economy that is highly concentrated, we have 90% distributed between China and US. Now the remaining 10% is other countries. Europe, Africa is 1.3%. And then Asia to 22%, like that. So just 1.3%. That's what Africa is occupying. So we can only imagine how many Nigeria is in that space. And we know that even Kenya, our neighbor here, is even higher than us when it comes to digital things. Now, one thing I love about Indians, just like I said, that they are as competitive as Nigeria in the space. If you check the number of CEOs in the tech space, a lot of them are Indians. So these faces you are seeing there, okay, that's the next slide. So these faces you'll be seeing there now are all Indians. This is the next slide. So these are and these people are the CEOs of the major companies that we know in the world, like Google. We have Sundar Pichai, we have Microsoft, Motorola, Nokia, Adobe. These set of people are all CEOs from India. Now, where are we? Nigeria. Where are we in this corner? We are not there. So we still have a long way to go. Then talking about the richest people in the world. You can move to the next slide. So talking about the richest people in the world, and the reason I'm showing you this is because all these people, next slide please, all the people on that list majority of them are from the US, and just few, maybe I think like 2 of them from India and other country. But then, majority of them are tech company founders, like tech people. Majority of these richest people in the world. Okay, we know them, right? All right. We don't have any African person here. Okay. All right, so let's move to the next slide. So why have we not dominated? Why are we not in this list? Why are we not in the list of CEOs of tech, of global companies like Google, Microsoft, Apple, and the rest? Why are we not there? Why are we not dominating? We still have a lot of challenges as Africans. So coming down to Nigeria, we still have a lot of challenges. First of all, there's this quote I like so much by the Andela organization, for those of us that know Andela. So talents are evenly distributed, but opportunities are not. Talents are everywhere, but not everybody have equal opportunities. Now, because when I have meetings with these people that are from different parts of the world, most of the time, if we are like more than 2 Nigerians in that meeting, a lot of the times we'll be struggling with network. So that I become ashamed of myself. Like, you're in a meeting, you're just disconnecting up and down because of network issues. Or worst case, maybe you want to now present something and then network is just disturbing you like that. So it even happened to me in one podcast that I was invited to on YouTube, and the network was just crazy. At the end of the day, I was angry. In fact, before that interview, before that session, I had to subscribe all the 3 networks as backup. I did Glo, NCN, what was the other one? NCN. And then all of them, they misbehaved at the same time. Like, none of them was working. So at the end of the day, I was just angry, like, Okay, fine. So, because I've been postponing, like, I know that people have been saying Starlink is good, this and that, so I've been postponing it. So after that session, I just best. I said, Starlink, I must get it. So that was how we got Starlink. And so far, the network is really cool. So for those of you that use internet very heavily, you can consider using it. So now, another issue we have is lack of required in-demand skills. So because we cannot be in the forefront of technology or dominating in that space if we lack the required skills. It's very, very important that we have the necessary skills, because one thing I've noticed is when a new technology comes up, we are not there. Until it has been there for some years, we have started using it before you now see a Nigerian contributor or being a part of the team that are building that particular stuff. Because like I contribute to open source projects, I forgot to mention. So one of the ways I make my money is through open source contributions. Now, some of you might don't know, and I don't think I have time to start explaining what open source is. So now in that community, maybe on a particular project, you will see like 91 contributors or 500 or so number of contributors. And if you check the faces or the pictures and names of people that are contributing, hardly before you see a Nigerian name or even an African name there. They're always white people. They're always the ones building those projects. Our own is to come and use or consume. So please just have it in mind. We should stop being a consumer. Now, government policies is another thing that is affecting us as a country. For me, like I mentioned that I do blockchain, there are some kind of solutions and ideas I have that I want to build, but the fear of what the government of the day is going to do is another thing. A lot of blockchain startups have closed up in Nigeria because of government policies. There was a time that they shut down Binance, that we couldn't do transfer and all. In fact, when I went to Kenya, what saved me that day was cryptocurrency, because I ran short of fund, and I went to the local bank and I couldn't withdraw because I didn't go with my dollar card. And what will I do? Thank God for one of the platforms that did not shut down. I was able to get some fun out of it. So because decentralization is very, very important, and that's what the blockchain brings for us. So I don't have to worry about not having a native currency of whatever country I go to before I can transact. And that is some of the challenges we're having here now, because now for a few people that are doing private, they're just ideal to do it because government has not fully given their consent. And these things are affecting businesses. I think recently Google pulled out their branch from Lagos. I think they have branch in Kenya and some other countries, even Ghana and all. But Nigeria, because of government policies, big shots are leaving Nigeria. Microsoft, the same thing. Now, a lot of employees they lost their job because those ones working maybe in the Lagos branch, and since they are no longer having office there, some of them lost their jobs. And if the environment is good enough, it's welcoming for top companies, we'll have a lot of them here. In fact, they will come here first before any other African country. But because of the different government policies that we have on ground, it's kind of affecting us as a country. Thank God for Starlink, because it's really saving a lot of us that are heavy consumers of the internet, like people that sleep on the internet. Just imagine we are just dependent on only Glo and MTN and the rest. I don't know what would have become of us. So another factor is the environmental factor. So I've talked about internet connection, and then power, that's lights, another big issue. Most people, especially those that work in the digital space, they always need lights. It's a very important, it's like fuel for them. It's a very important requirement for them because your laptop needs to be powered. If you use a laptop that probably lasts for 2 hours, after 2 hours of work, your laptop goes down and goes off, and then there's no NEPA lights. What are you going to do? Imagine somebody creating a content, doing a video, and all of a sudden NEPA take lights. And then you start seeing blackouts in the video. I think it has even happened one time like that when the federal government, they were doing meetings and they were power shut down and stuff. Just imagine that kind of thing. or even in the airports, you'll be experiencing no lights. So these are issues in this country that needs to be solved. And if government can hear me, please do something about it. And then for the rest of us, we all have our own individual role to play. On our own, we need to acquire the necessary skills that will help us to stay ahead. So now, governments will always be governments. So now, as individuals, we need to help ourselves. Right now, I don't even worry about NEPA because I use solar. Because I know that what I'm doing needs lights like 247. I can't afford to just be waiting for NEPA. Or even now that fuel is very costly. I can't be buying fuel all the time. So there's a level you get to, you know how important this thing is for you. You have to take care of these things yourself while you're waiting for government to do what they need to do. So, let me see. Okay, so to continue, what are the key digital skills for global impact? What are the key, digital skills we can consider? So we have content creation, I have mentioned that before, so there's also social media management. I can understand that most of the time when I talk about coding, a lot of people are scared. So coding, I know, is not for everybody. To be honest with you, coding is hard, I won't lie to you. You have a lot of sleepless nights. Yeah, so for those of us that have tested it just a little, you can agree with me. So, so if you feel like coding is not for you, what else can you do? There are other things you can do, as can be seen on the screen. You can create content. That one is very easy. You know how to do something. I mean, let's say you cut hair, for instance. Like I've spoken with some of the people that cut hair. If you cut hair, you don't just wait for your customers to just come and collect that small money you collect. I don't know how many customers you are going to attend to in a day. But if you are very creative, you can take that your cutting of hair to another level. And that means you can be creating content as you are cutting somebody's hair. And then people can be watching it on YouTube. And before you know it, you are growing your channel. There are people that want to do, a lot of us tech people, we like to do it ourselves. So most of the time, if you want to do it, the first place we go is YouTube. Go and check for a video for it. Almost everything have a video. Sewing clothes, even though you are a tailor. I know a fashion designer that is very active on YouTube. Like, what that person is doing is teaching other people maybe how to cut so and so. When you show it, you might not show everything you do, but if you want, it's not really a big deal because sometimes we feel like we are hiding our skill. We don't want to do it publicly. We think we are doing it for free. Yes, it might look like it's for free, but in the long run, you are benefiting yourself because the video will remain there and people will continue to watch it and watch it. And the more they watch it, the more you grow your channel. If you notice, in fact, the highest views I've seen for channels is mostly food. As simple as it is, or as it sounds, a lot of big channels I've seen are food channels. How to cook this, how to prepare this. So if you're somebody that you feel like, oh, I don't have too much skills, I'm an old woman. Even I've seen stories, testimonies of people online that the channel I used to follow. And they'll be like, this 60 years old woman is having this channel, a food channel. And this actually has grown within 2 years or so. So you don't need to come and start learning how to operate computer. All you just need to do is to learn how to create that content. You have to position your camera, how to upload the video, and you already know how to sew clothes. You just to put camera somewhere as you are creating, as you are sewing that clothes. So as a programmer, if I learn something new, I create a video for it for other people to learn. Even though I have a training center for people to come and learn, but I still have free stuff I put out there. If I am facing an issue, let's say I'm programming something and then it's giving me an issue, when I find a solution for it, I create content for it. Because I don't want some other persons to go through that same challenge I went through. And a lot of people are going to look for those type of videos because the same problem you're having, you're not the only one having it. A lot of persons are also having that same problem. And they're going to search online and see it and be like, oh, thank God, there's a content for it. And then the more people watch it, the more you make money from that content. So anything you are doing, I feel like anything you are doing, you can create content for it. It's not just snap picture, do TikTok, and post all those free. I just feel like people that are posting free. There's nothing like free content now. People should not be posting free content. Yes, you post it, it's free, but you should be intentional about it. Because, like my sister now, I noticed she's even more consistent than me in content creation, but she's doing it the wrong way. I told her recently, like, because you know, when you're doing video and then you are playing background music, other people's music, you can't monetize those type of content. Or a lot of the content you have is not original, it's not your original content. You are combining it with other people's content. YouTube especially will not accept that kind of content. So for those of us that are thinking of creating one. Now, so these are the different skills you can take advantage of. Now, how to get started in the tech space? First of all, identify your area of interest. Like I said, not everybody will code, so some people will do design or write content or anything. Product management, you know how to manage people, do those things. And then enroll in online courses. So there are online courses. If you don't want to come to a physical training center, you can enroll for online courses. And you can join a tech community, very important. I see a lot of people, in fact, I came across a guy one day. I was coming from here and I was like, I think, what I saw what I was doing on my phone related to Python. So he asked me, are you a developer? I said yes. So we started talking. I'm like, okay, are you a developer? I said yes. So are you naked? Yes. Which community are you in? No community. Do you know this org? Do you know that org? No. So it's not good. If you are learning this tech and you are learning it on your own, just hiding. Sometimes it might be pride for people that do that, but you're not helping yourself. So if you want to learn and grow, you need to learn in the open. They say that a lot in the tech space, but people that have done it, they know what they have benefited from it. So it's one thing for you to be in tech, and it's another thing for you to be in tech the right way. So because you can just say that you're in tech, or you're a programmer, or you're a content creator, and you're not in the community of people that are doing that you can learn from, or you can share knowledge with, or there are events, meetups you don't attend, you feel like it doesn't concern you, you just want to code your own code. In fact, there's a guy I met, and I sent it to my office, but they were laughing. I met this guy somewhere some time ago, and I'm like, just saying, similar to this other guy's situation, that they just do their own thing. I'm like, why don't you go to a co-working space to work or meetups like that? And it was like, you don't want somebody to be looking at his code. That's very funny. Want to copy your code? I don't know. So now you're not helping yourself. If you, especially for those people that are new, that are just starting, and then you are doing all these things on your own, you need to be in a community. So that when you have a problem, you can ask questions. Because like I said, I'm self-taught. I never officially attended a physical class or even the online class. It was just videos I was watching on my own. So, and now it would have been much more difficult if I was just doing that. In fact, that time itself, we didn't have this much community that we have now. So now we have a lot of groups, communities, places where if you have an error, you can just post it and be like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm having this error, can you help me out? Or can anybody in this group help me out? And people will be very happy to help. That's one thing I love about the tech space. People are always happy to help. If you invite a tech person to come and speak for a tech event, they are always very happy to go and speak. It's not like in some other gatherings where people will be like, how much do you want to pay before I come and speak? It's not like that. People are always happy to do these things for free. So, now you volunteer your skills. Volunteer your skills. Now you have learned. The best way for you to practice what you have learned is to volunteer. So don't wait till you get a job or till somebody employs you or till they are ready to pay you. You should be ready to do free work for you to gain experience, because that's how you are going to build your portfolio. Because you're not going to have a portfolio, you're not going to have anything to show if you have not volunteered to work with any organization based on what you have learned. And then mentor others, teach other people what you have learned. Seek for opportunities to teach other people. Then stay updated. And then there is this thing called MOOC, that's Massive Open Online Courses. So with this, you can, for those of us that don't like to go to physical schools or the traditional school, you can take a course here and have a certificate for yourself. So then making a global impact through digital dominance. Now, as part of the ways of making digital impacts, you can evangelize through spreading the gospel digitally. And then career advancement and global influence, like I earlier mentioned, you can advance your career, you have the opportunity to do that. Then entrepreneurship, so not everybody will work under somebody. So you can take your tech skills to another level. You can start to come up with a product idea, build a product, and become a startup entrepreneur. And mentorship, very important. Even within a church here, there are opportunities. You can join the media. Any opportunities, anything that will give you opportunity to practice what you are learning. Always seize it. Then challenges to watch out for. So the internet space or the digital space is full of distractions. A lot of times I personally don't just go online. So especially these social media platforms. If you don't know how to control yourself, you can say you just want to go to Facebook and spend 5 minutes before you know you are there for 2 hours. So you need to know how to manage yourself within the space because there are a lot of distractions up there. And then there's a lot of toxicity online, so negativity, so many things. So you see different things online that can just ruin your day and your mindset. Then misinformation. So there are so many misinformation there, and spreading the wrong message can harm the gospel. So that's why we as Christians need to be fully involved so that we can help to spread the right message.